Every 6.5 seconds, someone in the world dies of a smoking-related disease. That means now, by the start of this video, one person in the world has died from smoking cigarettes or being around someone who smokes cigarettes. Cigarette smoking is the #1 cause of preventable deaths within the United States. That might be due to some of the chemicals that are found in cigarettes. 4,000 chemical compounds, actually more than 4,000, are found in one cigarette. 200 of those compounds are known to be poisonous. 40 of those compounds are known to be carcinogens, which are cancer-causing compounds. Those chemicals are, well, just some of them, arsenic, which is a common deadly poison. Ammonia, which is a common house cleaner, and that's actually used to boost the impact of the nicotine. Carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous material that some of us have heard of. Hydrogen cyanide, that's actually used to execute prisoners. So that's going into your body every time you smoke a cigarette is what is going into a person on death row's body as they're executed. Radioactive polonium-210, that just sounds bad. Methane, which is released daily from a cow's anus and also from the sewers. It's a type of poisonous gas. Formaldehyde, which preserves the dead. If you've ever taken any type of science course, you have probably heard of it because whenever you dissect the frogs, that's what smells really bad. Also, smoking affects your body head to toe. Starting with your hair, it smells. It slows the growth process. It dulls the shine. Your brain. Smoking blocks the carotid artery, which cuts off the blood supply to your brain, which causes a stroke. Your teeth and gums, they become yellow and stained, and your gums start bleeding after a while. Your mouth and throat. The major cases of mouth and throat are larynx cancer, oral cavity cancer, esophagus cancer. The minor are sore throat, loss of taste buds, which I wasn't aware of. After you smoke for so long, you can't really taste anything. And smelly breath. Smelly breath just comes along with smoking. If you smoke, your breath's not going to smell good. Lungs and respiratory system. Lung cancer. We've all heard the commercials and everything else. Lung cancer is normally correlated with smoking. Asthma. Asthma, if you have it already and you start smoking, it's going to get worse. And if you don't have it, you probably will develop it in the long run. Your cough, of course, that'll get worse, or you will develop a common cough. Like, it's normal for you to cough on an everyday basis. And also tuberculosis. Your heart, the immediate effects of smoking is a rise in blood pressure. Also, tons of heart disease is linked with smoking that is not normally advertised because everybody's worried about lung cancer. Smoking and heart disease is right up there with lung cancer. It is right behind it in different causes. Right here, see if you can see this. There we go. 96% of smoking is associated with lung cancer. So people who get lung cancer, 96% of them have smoked. 90% smoking is associated with heart disease. So people who have heart disease, 90% of them, it's from smoking. 43% of smoking may be associated with ear problems in children. So when you smoke around your children and they develop ear problems, or children who develop ear problems, period, it's from secondhand smoke. 43% of them. 42% of smoking may be associated with sudden infant death syndrome, which is SIDS, and that's from women smoking when they are pregnant. To be honest, I was a smoker about a couple months ago. For 2 years, I smoked for 2 years right out of high school. I'm only 19. I had to have major sinus surgery because I already had asthma and sinusitis and everything else. So I was a really smart cookie for starting to smoke. Only 19, as I said. I'm in college. I had to completely interrupt my daily life with it, which is school and work and everything else, for about 3 to 4 weeks because I had to have this major surgery on my face. I was in bed for 2 weeks. I really couldn't function. I could barely breathe. And it's all because I smoked and I had a polyp in my nose, which is a tumor. It wasn't cancerous yet, thank God. But it could have been. And my sinuses were completely clogged up. I could barely breathe. And the smoking increased everything when I started the sinus infections. Everything was increased. And by doing that, by smoking, this inevitable type of surgery was moved up at a very inconvenient time in my life. I'm way behind in school and everything else. But through doing this, I learned a lot. And by hearing me talk about some of the stuff that is in these cigarettes and everything else, I hope you learned a lot too. And just a little quirky thing that I found that I thought was kind of cute, but it's a pretty morbid subject, so it's not really that cute. But for more information on lung cancer and everything else I just mentioned, keep smoking.